and welcome to another day of Vlogmas. If you're wondering about the change of scenery, I am currently sitting in my bathroom. Why? Because it is dark out and this was the room with the best lighting. So if you're wondering why I'm making a video late at night in my bathroom, I just watched Studio Ghibli's Ponyo and I thought that rather than sitting and cogitating with my thoughts for a day or so, I would just go ahead and give you like my instant gut reaction and keep it real. Ponyo was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki and was originally released in 2008 under the Japanese title Gake no Ue no Ponyo, which literally means Ponyo on the cliff. Miyazaki's been pretty open with the fact that he was initially inspired by the Hans Christian Andersen tale The Little Mermaid, and I definitely can see how that is the more obvious influence, but I know that he also really was interested in just kind of creating a film that encapsulates the innocent childhood experience. Ponyo is about a young boy named Sosuke who lives with his mother in a seaside town in a house on top of a hill. Sosuke's mother is a caregiver at a local care facility and his father is the captain of a fishing boat and is gone for long periods at a time and communicates with them by doing like coded messages with lights and I believe Morse code. So Sosuke grows up in this fantastic environment for a kid to go exploring, and one day when he is down playing by the sea, he notices a little fish with its head stuck in a jar and immediately tries to rescue that fish. After he breaks it free of the jar, he sees that it is kind of dead looking, so he rushes it up to the house, plunks it in a bucket of water, and is relieved to see that it revives, and he decides, hey, I love you, fish, and I'm gonna keep you forever and ever, and I'm gonna call you Ponyo. Side note, if you wanna know what Ponyo means, it is the Japanese onomatopoeia for like a squishy splashing noise. Of course, this all happens on a day where Sosuke and his mother are running incredibly late, so Sosuke ends up taking Ponyo to school with him, and along the way discovers that she, 1, responds to him, and 2, she really likes ham. Of course, once he gets to school, things don't go quite so well because Ponyo splashes water or spits water on another child from his class and on one of the ladies at his mother's care facility, who then warns Sosuke that because she is a fish with a face, she's gonna bring tsunamis to their town unless he returns her to the sea. As it happens, shortly after, Ponyo does get sucked back into the sea by a suspicious looking wave, and Sosuke is devastated. Now, as it turns out, Ponyo isn't any ordinary little fish. She turns out to be the daughter of a scientist, sorcerer type guy who once was human and now lives under the sea and is married to, or at least has little fish babies with, a mysterious water goddess who the fishermen call the Goddess of Mercy. Back under the sea with her father, Ponyo is kind of pitching a fit. She refuses to go by her actual name and insists on being called Ponyo, and decides that, hey, I want to go back up to the surface because I liked Sosuke and I want to be a human girl and live with him forever. Of course, this freaks her father out and he tries to keep her locked down with a magic spell, but she is strong enough to break free, and in her quest to find Sosuke, creates this massive typhoon and ultimately a tsunami that almost wipes out Sosuke's town. Now, Sosuke and his mother rush home to try and make contact with his father's ship, who they fear is lost in this storm, when they notice a little girl that looks oddly like the fish Ponyo standing in the road outside their house. My first reaction to this film would be that if Miyazaki was looking to make a film encapsulating like the innocence of childhood, I think this was it. I think gold star Miyazaki, you accomplished what you set out to do. On one hand, this is a fantastic new interpretation of The Little Mermaid, about a little fish who just wants to become a girl and experience life on land, and on that level, it's amazing. However, when you think about it, in Japan, typhoons and tsunamis are actual, really real dangers that kids watching this film could have to deal with at some point in their lives, and I think this is a really interesting look at what that kind of natural terror looks like through a kid's eyes and how it doesn't have to be scary if you don't make it scary, and how it can actually be the start of a big adventure. And yes, because it's a Miyazaki film, there's a little bit of talk about the environment and about how man isn't doing his best to live in harmony with nature, but I think all of that is really superseded by this grand adventure that Sosuke and Ponyo get to go on together, and this friendship that develops. So is this a successful kids film? Yes, I would recommend this to families with kids of any age, but at the same time, I'm aware that it's not his best kids film. When Miyazaki's at his best, his films that are meant for kids are also really compelling for adults, and I don't think he quite accomplished that with Ponyo. I think that while it's a fantastical, innocent adventure, there were things that, because I have an adult mind, I know I look kind of young, but I am an adult, I just wasn't able to quite get past. And again, if you're a kid, these things won't bother you, but I just don't think it was quite as adult friendly as some of his other children's films. For example, from my perspective, his mother was super manic. She was like up, down, all around, and she left her kid with a strange fish girl in the middle of a typhoon. Like, what the heck? Also, there's that scene where the entire city is flooded and the adults are like, hey kids, you okay to take care of yourselves while we all band together to take care of the adults? Sure, go ahead, go off on your own, you're only 5 years old. So yes, if I was a kid, I think I would just be getting lost in the fantasy and the magic and innocence of it all, but as an adult viewer, I think that Miyazaki has done better children's films that relate to everybody. So those are my thoughts on Ponyo, and I would really love to hear what you guys have to say if you have watched this film. I think one of the things that might be at play here is that in doing this series of Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli discussion videos, I've really become accustomed to looking at the films on a slightly deeper level and just really getting into them thematically, and I don't think that was the point of this film, so maybe I was looking for something there that just wasn't there at all, but definitely let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your thoughts. The next Studio Ghibli film I will be discussing is Arrietty, which I have seen before and is based on the book The Borrowers, so I'm really looking forward to rewatching that, and I will have a discussion video of that up in a couple of days. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for another day of Vlogmas tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye! She misses